Well, not guilty. Well, sort of. And boy, wow. Okay, the Diddy verdict has been delivered. He was found not guilty on the more serious charges. And here's the breakdown. The jury has found Sean Diddy Combs guilty of only transportation for prostitution, and that is the less serious of the charges. Another count, count one, racketeering. That's the RICO charge. That's the big kahuna here, folks. The jury finds Combs not guilty. Remember, the judge sent them back. They found 4 out of 5. We didn't know what the 4 were, guilty or not. The 5th was racketeering. It was the tough one. It was the one he could have gotten life for, and they found him innocent or not guilty on that one. On count 2, sex trafficking, that one pertains to Cassie Ventura, with whom Diddy had a nearly 11-year relationship for trafficking. The jury found Combs not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution, also pertaining to Cassie. The jury finds Diddy guilty on that one. Again, a lesser count. Count 4, sex trafficking of Jane Doe. The jury found Combs not guilty. And on count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. That one pertaining to Jane Doe, guilty on those. So 2 of the 5 counts guilty, 3 nope, dismissed. Again, the jury seems to have found Diddy guilty for the less serious charges. These carry less time by far. First count, the RICO charge is the really big one. Prosecutors wanted to get that one on Diddy. That would have sent the disgraced mogul to prison for a very long time, up to life in prison, but didn't happen. Now it's interesting just to talk about what happened yesterday. The jury came back with its verdicts for the 5 charges, like I said, meaning 2 charges through 5, and were stalled on that first one, the more serious charge. Clearly, they thought about it, they deliberated, they came back, and after some additional deliberation, frankly, probably wanting to get on with their pre-holiday weekend, they came back with their verdict on all 5 charges. So there you are. After weeks and weeks of hearing about the freak-offs, the bottles of baby oil, the domestic abuse, the ecstasy pills, and the shape of Barack Obama's head, it's finally come to an end. Some observations here. We seem to close this chapter, at least for now. Here's what we really find interesting. Think about this. Let's talk about how little media coverage this trial is getting. Yes, there's been a little coverage here and there. You've got your media outlets and such all over. But notice that some trials, of course, the ones for Trump specifically, if you recall, trial of Kyle Rittenhouse as well, if you recall, massive, massive media circuses. I imagine that Diddy choosing not to take the stand sent relief through a lot of people's minds. I guess it worked too, folks, right? Most of the serious charges dismissed. And when I say people felt better about that, I mean Hollywood. Not a single doubt in my mind that these people, the Hollywood ivory tower elite, that they think they're untouchable. And guess what? The courts are kind of proving that, aren't they? We just watched the debacle of this Venice, Italy wedding of Jeff Bezos, $55 million wedding of Jeff Bezos and his astronaut, social climber wife. The who's who, Oprah, Gail, Leonardo DiCaprio with his hat on, covering his face, the Kardashians. We know these people live in an alternate reality in which they imagine that every single person on earth admires them, wants to be them, or maybe they don't even care what anyone else thinks. There's a bigger problem here, though. Whether or not Cassie Ventura seemed like somebody who wanted to be at the freak-offs, which the defense tried to show, and the jury clearly felt convinced of that, the hotel video alone should have been evidence enough to show what Cassie Ventura went through. Think about this. As we show that video, just think about this for a second. Sean Diddy Combs is likely going to get very, very, very little time. And look at how he treats his girlfriend of 11 years. She certainly was under duress, don't you think? And Sean Diddy Combs should have been convicted just on the basis of that alone. Just on that alone. How a jury could see that video and not think he should be convicted of more is beyond me. And the fact that all Combs had to do was pay off a hotel to keep that from getting out to the world, that speaks volumes as well. Think about it. The amount of rage and hate and violence that somebody has to have in them to follow someone, a woman, over and over again, naked, wearing just a towel on him, to beat her into submission, grab her by the hair, and drag her. Think about how much angst you must have in your body. And you think he won't do it again? To maintain that level, that feeling of violence, this guy is a monster. There are 2 ways. There's no way, third way. There are only 2 ways about it. Men who abuse and are violent towards women, there aren't enough words to describe how disgusting they are. And for that someone not to matter, do you think it doesn't matter? Of course it matters. What does that tell us? What does it tell us? Let me leave this right here. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey, yes, that Comey, daughter of former FBI Director James Comey. Yep, same prosecutor there, same defense attorney there. There are questions as to whether or not she sabotaged her own case. She's a Comey, so I wouldn't put it past her. She was a prosecutor for Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who managed not to name a single man who Epstein and Maxwell trafficked underage girls to. Think about that for a second. Just remember that in this twisted world where politics and Hollywood collide, no coincidences, folks. Politics, we always say it. Just asking the questions here. One thing's for sure. It was another wild day in the world of Hollywood and scandals and in the world of law. Meanwhile, let's see what the verdict means for Sean Diddy Combs and his future. We'll come back when that sentencing comes out, maybe in the next few days or so. Until then, Bolling, we're done with Diddy.